It is time to make the sound to summon the stream. You know what? Before I do, I feel like the mic's been too loud lately. There we go. So, it is time to make the sound to summon the stream. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Coil Quickcard, and welcome back to Pokemon Soul Silver Nuzlocke. This is part of a Nuzlocke marathon that I am doing. I am going through each of the remakes of Generations 1 through 4 and Nuzlocking them all. So we started with Fire Red, we're currently on Soul Silver, then there's going to be Alpha Sapphire, and finally Brilliant Diamond. Each one of them will be a Nuzlocke, and on top of all the usual Nuzlocke rules, any Pokemon line that I use in one of the Nuzlockes is locked out for the remainder of the entire marathon. So, yeah. No Noctowls, no female Nidorenas, no Fortress for the rest of the Nuzlocke. I have them now, and quite likely, that's it. A full list of the rules of the Nuzlocke, as well as a list of all the Pokemon that are currently locked out as of the start of today's stream, is written in the description of this video. I am allowing myself to just use rare candies whenever it's time for a gym. I can use as many as I want to get all of my Pokemon up to the level of the next main opponent's highest Pokemon. So for Price, for instance, the next gym leader, his strongest Pokemon is level 35. And, well, frankly, my team's already above that, so yeah, we're just gonna have to hope it goes well. Here is the team. We've got Exploding Apple, the Fortress. We've got Isotope, the Meganium. We've got Needle, the Beedrill. We've got Annie C, the Nidoqueen, who's quite likely the most important Pokemon on the team. Eepee, the Noctowl, who's definitely putting in work. And Flowey, the Execute. And speaking of the Execute, in between streams, I went out and I ground up at the Pokéthon Dome and got myself a Leaf Stone. So we can go ahead and evolve Executor to begin today's stream, which means I am going to have to find its sprite here. There we go. Okay. And that's in slot 6, so we will go ahead and change that to Executor. And there we go. So, we are currently at 6 of the 8 Johto badges. And last thing we did last week was finish the Lake of Rage. So, we are ready to head into the Mahogany Town hideout. We've got my fast forward button, because I am, of course, running this on completely original hardware, obviously. Hello, statue. Alright, let's begin. Our first battle for the day against Rocket Grunt. XP Apple is pretty damn strong compared to my opponents. So we're just going to effortlessly cut through some of these fights and be very, very careful not to use self-destruct. My first stream of Soul Silver did not go especially well. Mostly just because of how many Pokemon in early Gen 2 are just rehashes from early Gen 1, most of which I was locked out of, per the rules. So, yeah, we ended the first stream with a grand total of 3 Pokemon in my team. But last week, the second stream actually went really, really well. Okay. I don't remember the exact layout of this place. So, we'll figure it out. Magnemite... Nah. Yeah. Paralyze, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Annie, would you mind handling this, please? With a nice surf. And surf. Perfect. Hello there, noob. Welcome to the stream. You're the first person to comment, so assuming that you stick around, you will get first naming today, which, assuming everything goes well, will be an electrode here in the base. Oh. Okay, that deactivates the Persians. If we are going to go for captures, though, we definitely need some more Pokeballs, which I had in fact forgotten to get. So, Eepy, if you would not mind flying my butt over to Olivine, we can grab some balls that we're gonna need. Good tea. Won't be here for long. I'm sick and have school tomorrow. I understand. Would you like to throw out a name now? In case I do catch an Electrode and you're not around for it? Electrode is the only encounter... the only wild Pokemon encounter I can get inside the hideout, so... I'm either catching one or it's gonna blow itself up. So... I'm sorry you're not feeling good, too. I've been rather under the weather myself lately. 10 Ultra Balls is enough for now. Alright. At least I do have Exploding Apple, who is resistant against explosion and self-destruct, so... I do have a safe pivot for that. Boom Ball! Got it. Alright, if we get the Electrode, its name is Boom Ball. Alright, does leaving and exiting reset the statue? No. Okay, the statue is actually still disabled. That is excellent news. Yes, we are going to deactivate the Persians. Okay. That's a nugget. Hey, Lance, what's up? Yes, I'm alright. Alright, let's go. So, how's it been? Well, work this week was about the heaviest work week I have had this entire year, and was absolutely exhausting, and has taken a considerable toll on my energy level. Yeah, so that's how the week's been. Alright, Golbat. Mearshot. Good work, Rocket Grunt. You really held your own. Yeah. Okay. You know, I almost feel bad for these guys that they're basically just having Lance walk in here to fight them. And, like, Lance is just out for blood. I mean, this guy just brought a Dragonite to Hyper Beam people in the face. Oh, what a great champion he is. Ugh. Okay. Alright. Eradicate Tail is one of the passwords for the boss. We found a Snatch that might be inappropriate for a non-age restricted stream, but I'm not the one who just put a Snatch out there waiting for all the world to see. Alright. Hello! Alright, Ekans, you intimidated, so Mearshot is better. Gloom, Mearshot, and we're fine. Okay, Eradicate Tail and Slowpoke Tail. We have the two passwords to the boss door. Now we need to find the boss door to get to the boss, to beat the boss, to get the password for the Electrode door. Because that's how science works. Hello! How's it going, Rocket Grunt? Rattata. Without the Intimidates, Bug Bite is stronger. Against you, Mearshot is stronger. And against you, Bug Bite is stronger. Sweet. Alright, and now the tough one. What is this level gap? This is what happens when you rare candy up all of your Pokemon to handle... You know what? No, I'll tell you what actually this level gap is. This is a normal Gen 2 level gap. It's pretty crazy. Alright, so bye, rival. Gen 2 has terrible scaling. Alright, here is our first big battle of the day. You're not Giovanni. You're not nearly charismatic enough to get children to openly salute you inside of Pokemon centers in Japan. Like, is a thing that they actually do by having someone dress up as Giovanni come in and talk to the kids, and then they'll all salute him, which is a little bit weird. Alright, Petrel. Opening with a Zubat. We're at a staggering level 22. All I did was take my Pokemon up to the level of the last gym leader I fought, and that was Jasmine. So, yep, they're all just level 35. Mearshot again. Yep, hello Cole, welcome to the stream. We're working our way through the Mahogany Rocket Hideout. Eradicate. Bug Bite still strongest against Eradicate. Hyper Fang is strong but resisted. That didn't do a goddamn thing. Alright, you got any healing items? Nope. Okay, fight's over. Cool. Yeah. So he won't tell me the password, but his Murkrow knows it, and it's Hail Giovanni. Okay. Let's go. Alright, so let's be real here. We are going up against... we're going up against Electrodes. Flowey opening with Reflect. And then Stun Spore should be enough to survive even a self-destruct crit. So I think that's how we're going to go about trying to capture the Electrode. Or we can just risk... we could also just risk throwing an Ultra Ball immediately. Do I risk just throwing an Ultra Ball immediately? I think I risk a Stun Spore? I think I risk one Stun Spore and then I start chucking balls. Alright, fight time. Come on, Lance, let's do this. Alright. But first we have a fight. Arbok and Drowsy. Having my attack lowered really doesn't matter. Confusion on Arbok. Oh yeah, great work, Lance. Thanks for leaving me behind. No, Noob. If we catch the Electrode, Noob was here first and gave the name Boom Ball. So we have one chance to catch an Electrode, and if it works, it's Boom Ball. And then you'll have next Pokemon after that. Murkrow... screw it. Just Confusion Drowsy. Or Dragonite can kill Drowsy, and then I do nothing to Murkrow. That's another possibility. Okay. I can survive another set of attacks. Yep, a level 40 Dragonite. When Lance actually cares enough to do something, he doesn't screw around. Alright, Crit Confusion on Grimer. Only one of the Pokemon trainers on the other side is actually fighting now, so we'll bring out Annie. And that should be Murkrow down. Alright, then there's a Gloom. Sure. Thunderbolt the Gloom. There we go. Uh-huh. Alright. Electrode time. We can burn through our super potion supplies. So again, the plan is Flowey, 1 Stun Spore, and then we're just going to go straight into Ultra Balls. So here it is, our encounter for the Rocket Hideout. A level 23 Electrode. 1 Stun Spore. It's opening with a light screen. Alright. Alright, good night, noob. Get some rest. Hopefully... Actually, that fastball would have been perfect for this. We got the DLC. That's great, Cole. Okay. You are paralyzed. Good. Fastball is practically made for this. Come on. Okay. We really are going to have to lower its health a bit. Alright. Health keeps getting lower. We'll use one more Pokeball. Okay. Now that its health is actually getting lower, we'll go back to the Ultra Balls. Nope. Ultra Ball. Nope. Ultra Ball. There it is. Okay, Boom Ball has been caught. Okay, Electrode. We're just going to grab that. Explosion still has your defense in this gym. I think they could have self-destruct. I don't believe they have explosion. Alright. Boom Ball. Cool. And now that that is done, both lower it. Oof. That is annoying. Honestly, let's let Isotope have some fun here. Pedal Dance! Pedal Dance! Good job. Keep going. Pedal Dance! Pedal Dance! Headbutt! There we go. Alright, the Electrode are taken out. We also got HM5 for Whirlpool. There's a strategy in this, which is hoarding as many encounters for the later games as possible. The good news is that Gens 3 and 4 really do not start with a huge number of Pokemon from earlier gens. So we shouldn't have the same kind of problem. Ethan's calling. We don't care about Ethan. We are just playing this as a dedicated introvert. Cool. Alright, we got that. So, if we have to put someone away, it's going to be Beedrill. Okay, he didn't actually know self-destruct at all. Where even is going to be our next encounter? The next route. It's just that simple. Okay. So Annie's got the Thunderbolt. I think we're better off letting... And what's that? Whatever one is to the right. But first we have to take down Price. I think we're actually in a pretty good position for Price, though. Alright. Yeah, he just runs, like, the basic snow puzzle. Okay. I can't remember if we got the route next to the ice cave or not. I don't think we do, because I think an NPC blocks it, so I think it's actually that route first. Whoops. Okay. So, there. Let's evaluate. These kind of puzzles are always such a pain in the ass for me. So we have to go Price. Price has to go down. Which means you either have to start from the side of this, the side of this, or the side of this. Okay. I believe I see the solution. There we go. Yes. So we go here. You know Price's secret. Please stop missing your mirror shots. Please stop missing your mirror shots. Thank you. Please stop missing your mirror shots. Oh my god, Apple. Come on. Alright. So now we know the solution to that. Believe in Professor Tangrowth supremacy. Fair enough. Seen a bunch of people freaking out online over seeing a different-looking Pikachu and a different-looking Snorlax. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here thinking I can name half a dozen unique Pokemon from Pokemon spin-off games that have never appeared in mainline titles. So, everybody needs to just calm the hell down. We have no context for them. But people like to react hyperbolically when they have little to no information. Like Primal Dialga. Yeah, Ukulele Pikachu, you know, Shadow Lugia. I suppose we could technically put, like, Dark Rust on that list. Meanwhile, the other half of the people are throwing a fit because the Metroid Prime 4 trailer showed, like, speaking human NPCs. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, one, calm down, and two, the Metroid Prime series has had interacting NPCs since Metroid Prime 2. Everybody just needs to calm down. Professor Tangrowth is a fantastic design. I'm always in support of letting some of these spin-off variants into the mainline games. I truly do want to see that. But I think it is premature to assume it will happen. Annie! I'm actually glad to see you. I wanted to offer you an apology. After last week's aggressive response to using the Volt Orb Switch calculator. The degree of hostility and aggression that I expressed that was not okay. And I do feel that you are owed an apology for that, because I genuinely did not feel good about that afterwards. Okay, so let's review Price. Price has a level 30 Seal with Icy Wind, Rest, Snore, and Hail. A level 32 Dugong with Aurora Beam, Rest, Sleep Talk, and Ice Shard. And then a level 34 Piloswine with Blizzard, Ice Fang, Mud Bomb, and Hail. So we've actually got a pretty decent split of powers here. We can take Boom Ball up to level 34. Charge Beam would actually be really, really, really good to have here. Yeah, definitely that. I think using Boom Ball here is actually one of the best options. Especially if they can pile up Charge Beam boosts. Their defenses are nothing... They're nothing especially good. Oh, hold on. The team is wrong. There we go. Okay. There's Boom Ball. I really think Boom Ball Charge Beam is the best way to run this. At least through Seal. Almost certainly he would swap to Piloswine after that. What the hell do I do to answer Piloswine? I think about the only thing I can do to answer Piloswine is Exploding Apple Mirror Shot? Because quite literally every other member of my team is weak against ground or ice or both. Okay. I think I have the strategy. I did once the calc to figure out how bad offensively 80 special attack was, since that's what's posted. Mirror Shot is bad, especially on Fortress. Yeah, but we gotta go with what we got. It's not great. Alright, we're going in with Boom Ball. Boom Ball is very eager. See, he knows what's up. Hey! They do not lose easily. Hey! Christ! Who went to China? They shall demonstrate my power and my oldness. I need my medicine. Where's my ointment? Why is it so cold in here? Is there a draft? I don't like there being a draft. It's a monster! How did it get in here? Why is that wall fighting this seal? It is actually adorable that it's trying to lower my speed. That's like trying to lower a Shuckle's defense. Okay, so I am predicting that he's going to switch into Piloswine first. Okay, predicted. X-Bapple can definitely survive the swap, and then it's resistant to everything except Mud Bomb, which I believe is neutral. Hail is not a big problem. We're just going to have to whittle this down at this point. Payback might honestly be better than Mirror Shot. Oh god, that was over half! Oh, that's perfect, okay. Even with Citrus Berry, he goes down in 3 attacks. And I don't think the second attack is going to lower his health enough in order to trigger the Hyper Potion. So yeah, I think we're fine. The bigger problem is going to be when we swap to that Dugong. Electrode is weak enough that I really do not want to swap into it. That's 2 Mirror Shots we've missed. Yeah. Okay. Now we're in hurt range, which is fine. The Dugong doesn't really have anything that I worry about getting hit by. Things are not getting dodgy at all. We're doing fine. Admittedly, an accuracy loss is actually pretty bad. There we go. Okay, it is 1 Mirror Shot away from death, assuming it doesn't get low enough to trigger Hyper Potion. That actually might be low enough for Hyper Potion. Damn. Yep, okay, there's Hyper Potion. It's still 2 Mirror Shots away, although my accuracy did go down. I think I need to use Payback just for higher accuracy. Nope, we missed. I swear to God, this Fortress has missed 50% of the moves it has tried to use since I picked it up. And if we get hit with another accuracy reduction, we're really in a bad spot. Okay. Let's go for Payback instead. Okay, we've now gotten double drops. Okay, the hail stopped. I have to reset that. Blizzard is 100%. Even with resisting, I'm not confident. I'm not confident that Piloswine can survive a Blizzard and Hail. I think it can tank a Blizzard, but not Blizzard plus Hail. It's basically a certainty that it's going to drop a Blizzard. Okay. I should have gone to Isotope. I don't know if I can save this. But Piloswine is still my best bet. And ultimately, Flowey is my most redundant option. So we're just going to have to hope that it survives. Okay. It barely survives Blizzard plus Hail. Meanwhile, X-Bapple is definitely able to tank this, and their accuracy has been reset. Price has used his only Hyper Potion. Piloswine is 2 mere shots away from death. The second time you called Executor Piloswine. Whoops. Ah! Okay. Fortress is frozen. Of course it is. That's fine. We've still got all the consumables we need to make this work. I survive from here. Now we just have to hope we don't get the accuracy drops again. Okay, Piloswine is 1 mere shot away from death. Hyper Potion. God damn you, Piloswine. What is your problem, man? Okay, you're spending a turn on Hail. Okay, Piloswine is down. And now we go into Dugong. So, this Dugong is running Rest, Sleep Talk, Ice Shard, Aurora Beam. So, if we can get it low enough for Rest, we have a safe pivot to Electrode. Okay. We're still doing good. Hyper Potions are a bit overkill. You can use Moo Moo Milk most of the time. Yeah, I could. Of course it misses. Of course it misses the payback. My goal for today is beat the Elite Four. I don't know if we'll make it that far, but I think there is a good chance that we do. Okay. Okay, Dugong did go for rest. Which means that we have the safe pivot into Boom Ball. Oh, right. It has that. God damn it. Okay, and it crit. Boom Ball's actually in danger here. I think an Aurora Beam kills from here. An Aurora Beam crit definitely kills from here. But I think regular Aurora Beam also kills. Okay, Ice Shard. Ice Shard doesn't kill even on crit. And with one attack raised, Dugong dies to Charge Beam. Alright, and that is the Gym Leader price beaten, and the 7th Johto Gym Badge earned. Alright, not bad. We got our Glacier Badge, along with the TM for Hail. Okay, Professor Elm. Yep, okay. So now we've got the Rocket Tower broadcasts. Woo, boy. That was quite the experience. Alright, this guy will not allow me through until we finish the Team Rocket arc. Quill might be tired of hearing, but it's the absence of Barbarkle, who's Mega. There's EA Megas in this. It's based on the Hecaton Kyries. That is a pretty good idea. Alright, let's do this. Let me up. Okay, we can't go in, so we have to go underground. That's fine. I'll just beat up your entire criminal organization. There isn't shit you can do about it. I think the... Okay, that entrance is sealed. Here we go. Cool. Yeah. Alright. So, I am not too worried about what we're going to run into here. Ugh. Barbarical is... Look, here is the deal. Here's the deal. Pokemon do not have one inspiration. Pokemon, like basically all good monsters, all good designs, draw from multiple simultaneous inspirations. Because they draw from multiple simultaneous inspirations, you can make good cases for Pokemon to be appropriate to multiple regions. But if you're not going to have every Pokemon in every region, then you are going to be excluding at least some things that have inspirations drawn for relative to your region. That's just the way the creative process works. It's okay for them to not be there. Ducklet and Swanna were not in Galar, despite the fact that the swan is considered a royal bird for the British. Wasn't there. And that's okay. It's okay for it to not be there. It's going to be alright, Cole. It doesn't have to be there. Yeah. Yada yada. Let's do the fight. Hey, everybody. My general sense when it comes to some parts of the Pokemon community is that it is impossible to satisfy them when it comes to what Pokemon are where. Also, it's hard to say how Hawlucha should have been in Unova when Hawlucha did not exist at that time. It's rather like saying it doesn't make any sense that Bronzor and Bronzong aren't in Gen 1, considering that they are inspired by traditional Japanese bells. You can't really argue a lack of future material. Otherwise, I could say, man, I can't believe we went back to Lumiose City, and they didn't even include that Pokemon from Generation 14, you know? Lumininian? I mean, what an incredible oversight. It fits so perfectly, I can't believe it wasn't there. I think in general people just need to kind of relax and just accept the fact that not everything is everywhere, and that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like there's a tendency for a lot of people to sort of spoil their own experiences because they don't live up to expectations that they were never given a reason to hold. Like, you know, there's a lot of people on the Half-Life side. They are holding out so much insane hope that Half-Life 3 is just about to be announced. Or even more than announced, that it might be about to drop. And the thing is, when it's not, because it won't be, they're going to be so upset. They're going to feel like they have been slighted, lied to, betrayed, when they have literally been told nothing by any official source to give them any reason to believe that this is imminent. It's a fan region for a raw tech. I get a feeling it's being developed, so probably it'll get added later. Then it's a non-issue. And if it's not added, it's still okay. Well, I'm turning 31 years old, or not 30, I'm turning 38 years old in 2 weeks. Hence the increasing and escalating and, frankly, increasingly concerning inability to parse my words correctly. I've been around this sort of fandom crap for 30 fucking years. And I just see the same patterns play over and over and over and over and over in community after community after community. I just think that there's just an unfortunate tendency for people to be more disappointed by the things they didn't get and were not told they would get than by the things that they do get. But it's also definitely a fact that I am, like, almost pathologically chill and passive, so, you know, there's something to be said for my opinion, not only not necessarily being correct, but possibly being unhealthy. So, absolutely, I do not encourage people to emulate my perspectives. Merely to consider them. To consider those perspectives along with all of their own perspectives, and the perspectives of so many other people, and come up with their own reasons for thinking and feeling things. And to make sure that the things that they think and feel are because they have chose to think and feel them. Because they have made rational decisions within their best understanding to do so. And not just because of, you know, like, subconscious reactions. A reasoned decision will always be easier for me to understand than just a reaction. Yes, Aubrey, I've seen that you love that you can get drop-kicked by Pokemon. Okay, let's see here. Alright, we are heading into the basement. What level are Claire's Pokemon, so we can sort of work toward that? Her strongest is Kingdra at level 41. So I do want to make an effort not to push real hard past that point. Oh, right. Hold on. Did I ever change this from top to live chat? No, I actually didn't. Okay. Perfect. keep forgetting fairy types aren't in this. Yep, no fairies here. Alright. Come on, Eepy. We got stuff to do. So naming is me, then Annie, then Aubrey? Yes. Assuming we get that far. Hello. Goodbye, Kimono Girl. I understand that you've got, like, a whole Shrine Maid aspect going on, but... You know, maybe you don't have to wear that to work. Okay, here we go. This is the big one. This is the big one. It's time for Rival Fight with Quinky. Oh, right. I need to update my list here. Rocket Hideout. We did have an encounter. It was Electrode. And mark as yellow for future reference. Perfect. Okay. Confusion should still be strong here. I think trainers being a bit random as long as they're not some run and bun bullshit at the same time is a neat idea. I think it's the only natural direction the series can go at this point. Also, they're really not random in ZA. They actually do draw from a pool. It's just that the infinite rank pool is actually quite large. Alright, let's go. Good job, Annie. Annie, I gotta say, you have been putting in some real work lately. Quilava, surf kills, double kick kills. Annie's looking a little hurt. Boom Ball outspeeds though, so that's fine. Yep, charge beam, and then you roll into Haunter, charge beam, and Haunter has killed itself. Good job, Haunter. Okay. We successfully won. To be honest, I like what ZA did with the trainer battles, as most are optional. I wouldn't call them optional, I would merely say that they are required content presented differently. Because you will not advance through the story without your trainer battles. But the way that this required content is being presented to the trainer is different. I think ZA has been a good experiment for the Pokemon series. I'm glad you're enjoying your ROM hat, Cole. But don't worry, it's going to be okay that a Pokemon isn't there. It's going to be alright. We're all gonna make it through this if we just stick together and, you know, we're careful. So look at that, look at that. The rival fight went from level frickin' 32, and now the Rocket Trainer is level 23. Like, the level scaling in Johto is such a joke. It's absurd. Oh, what do we got here? Okay. Nothing important. Okay, so I remember there actually being a very easy way to do this. And I believe that was it. I like having Pokemon as part of an ever-growing permanent collection, so I actually don't get too much out of ROM hacks. Or Nuzlocks or other challenge runs, to be honest. Do-do-do. Oh, God. There. Silly phone. Yep, there's Golbat, Confusion, Confusion. You've been beaten by a young girl who is going to absolutely kick the shit out of you and all of your friends. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. I am Quill, Destroyer of Worlds, and you are all worthless gang members who have no value to society. Do 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 do. My issue with Pokemon hacks in general is that they are generally made by people who do not have the ability to actually produce, like, reasonable scaling in difficulty. Like, every Pokemon hack I've ever seen was basically made for someone who has, like, a solid decade of experience with Pokemon. That's my problem with the entire Pokemon ROM hack scene. And I think a lot of times the emphasis is on making their battle system more robust. You know, adjusting the difficulty than it is on, like, making a meaningful expansion to the setting. Or they are so drawn into the setting and making as many references and inferences to the real-world equivalents of their setting that it really ceases to be its own independent thing. Like, it stops being, this is a Pokemon world area inspired by this real-life place. And instead it's more like, here is this barely altered version of a real-world place, and I have added Pokemon to it. And I think a great example of that would be, look at the Unova region and look at the Ore region, both of which are American-inspired. The Unova region more, you know, like East Coast and Midwest. And then the Ore region, very much and very explicitly the American Southwest. And yet, you won't find, like, a Grand Canyon in Ore. You won't find Coney Island in Unova. You know, you won't find the Mississippi in Unova. You won't find Indian tribes sitting in teepees in Ore. I think that for all of the admittedly sometimes well-deserved shit that the Pokemon developers get for some of their design decisions, I think in terms of actually pulling off soft world building that draws from real-world inspiration, they have consistently proved to be just some of the best out there. Some of the best in the industry to actually pull that off. And I think that that's really impressive. And I just don't think most people are able to replicate a world-building quality of that same level. Which, in and of itself, is not even remotely a surprising statement. Like, obviously they can't. They're not professional developers working with a team for a year or two developing these things. Obviously it can't be up to that same kind of level. I don't think it's reasonable to expect it to be. But I feel like too many people who work in the Pokemon ROM hacking community do not really fully appreciate what elements of development are beyond their capability. Like, they all try to make, like, full regions, basically. But you don't have to make a full region. There's no reason that a ROM hack can't be something more like the Ore region was. There's no reason it can't be something that is much more limited, much more restricted in its scope. You know, maybe you don't have to do 8 gyms and the gym leader. Maybe that's not the way the story is structured. I think Pokemon as a setting has enormous, amazing potential. I really, really do. Like, far more than has ever been fully realized. And I feel like the expectation of what a Pokemon game is, structurally, is detrimental to that potential being explored. That's why I'm glad to see things like the Legends series moving away from that. I think if you actually take a Pokemon, like the things that everyone expects to be in a Pokemon game, and distill them down to their core, and if you just made a game based solely on that, on the things everyone knows and expects will be in a Pokemon game, I think that's how you wind up with Sword and Shield. And when you put it that way, you really see the problem with it. Because Sword and Shield was exceedingly formulaic. It was basically the raw essence of the Pokemon formula, expressed as concisely as it can be. And it was just not good. Alright. Annie. I think Sword and Shield... My perspective on Sword and Shield is that when I look at Sword and Shield, I see very clearly a 3DS game that halfway through development, they were told, this is going to be on Switch. And then desperately trying to add enough to it to justify that hardware change. That is how Pokemon Sword and Shield look to my eyes. Okay, this thing is actually kind of kicking my ass. Flowey... God damn, so much of my team does not resist poison damage. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. Let's see, we've got one paralyzed. We've got another asleep. Yes, Dratini is a gift Pokemon. It will be the Pokemon that we get in the Dragon's Den. I think what happened was that they desperately wanted a Pokemon game on the Switch, and after pulling a mid-development system change, there simply was not enough time to finish the development. I don't know if that's true, but whatever the reason, yeah, the main Galar region was garbage. And the story it presented was garbage. It was miserable. It was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. Like, okay, let me ask you this. Okay. Yes, Let's Go was on, but again, that wasn't mainline. Let me ask you all a question, and I want all of you, Aubrey, Annie, Cole, I want you to actually consider this question. I want you to actually think about it over the next few minutes. Don't answer right away, but I want you to think about this question, and then I want you to write what you think the answer is, because I am genuinely curious to see people's perspectives on this. Alright, here is my question. At the end of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Rose has got Leon and is trying to convince him to postpone the champion match. Okay? In order to prevent an energy crisis in 1,000 years. Here is my question to you. If Leon said yes, agreed to help, agreed to postpone the match, what was the next step? What was the thing that Rose, who is clearly a powerful and accomplished Pokemon trainer, needed Leon specifically to do? There is my question. Think about that for a few minutes. Don't answer right away, but think about it. Mull it around in your head. Consider the scenarios. Consider what happened. Consider Rose's goals, and then tell me, when you do come up with an answer, what do you think was actually the next step? Because I genuinely think if Leon had said, all right, let's do it, Rose would have stared at him blankly for 10 seconds and then said, yeah, I didn't actually know what to do with you said yes. Catch Eternatus, probably. Okay, but the player catches Eternatus. And then Rose and his company have nothing to do with us. So, if the plan required somebody to catch Eternatus to do something with it, shouldn't they have, like, walked up to us and been like, hey, by the way, you should go plug your Pokeball into that machine over there? Who knows? Alright, important thing, let's actually do a rocket battle. Alright, this is actually an important fight. And, of course, it has to start with the freaking Houndour. Can you repeat the question? Cole, my question is, if Leon had agreed outright to help Rose, like Rose wanted him to, what was the next step? What was the actual specific action that Rose needed Leon to do? Surf on Coughing. Houndoom. Houndoom's his final. I've got 1 accuracy reduction. So we should be completely fine with one max potion on Annie. Here we go. I think Rose wanted to get a Regieleki. Okay. How does getting Leon's help enable that? And if that is the goal, to completely move away from Eternatus as a power source, why would he then just release Eternatus? Keep in mind, I don't actually have answers to this. So, Cole, you believe that the actions we see him take are exactly the same as he would have had Leon agreed. So that his plan the whole time was just to release Eternatus. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Okay, so we actually do have the Silver Wing now. I think a better decision is to head to Blackthorn for the time being, rather than going straight to Mahogany. So let's put Exploding Apple out and thing. Eternatus is pretty much just living uranium. Silver Wing is cool, but Steel Wing, the Skarmory stock's rising. Okay, so, who was it? It's, Cole. Cole, you get to decide, Route 44. So, let's take a look at Route 44 and see what the chances are. In Soul Silver, Weepin' Bell, Tangela, Bellsprout, and Lickitung. Okay. So between Tangela and Lickitung, it's a 45% chance. Yeah, I think that's about the best we can hope for. But first thing, we need to castrate this tree, because I am here to make sure that all balls in the world are removed. We will not allow any balls in Johto. Oh, you sneaky-ass NPC. How dare you? Good job, Pokemon Maniac. Okay. That is Ice Path. Is all the grass on this route on, like, an island? Is that how it works? We'll just drop a repel. Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, Cole. Here is your selection. We need Tangela or Lickitung. Those are the only two on this route we are able to get. It is a Weepin' Bell. Route 44 is dead. So I guess you get to see if we get anything on the ice path. So there's actually a lot of Pokemon we could get in the ice path. Let's hope it goes well. Just avoid the trainers, since I have no need to fight them. Alright, ice path. What do we got? Ooh, rare one! Okay, we got Jinx. Cole, you get to name a Jinx. I fear all of those moves could kill it. Who is less likely to kill it? Probably Flowey Confusion. Okay, we can no longer escape, so we could potentially actually be in danger. Okay. Helena! Alright. Is that another reference? Ugh. So, the thing we have to look out for is that this has a really low catch rate. Alright, we got a Jinx. So let's make a mark here on the ice path. Jinx. Highlight that for future reference. And grab the sprite. Okay, there we go. Jinx sprite. That is really, really, really damn good to get. That might actually be how we deal with Claire. Okay, next. Let's go ahead and super repel our way through here. Let's get to Blackthorn. Quill, I have a question. Well, I can't promise you have answers, but I can certainly try to offer them. And I think Annie will be next for a name. There it is. I see the solution. How would the Grand Underground work in this run? I would be able to get one Pokemon from the Grand Underground, and that's it. When we get to Diamond and Pearl, we will very, very, very carefully consider what we will get in the Grand Underground, since that one we're actually going to be able to tailor completely. Yep, I figured it might be Bee-Warriors. Okay, did I teach anything strength? No, I did not teach anything strength. Well, another move slot taken up. Flowey, you can have strength. You can just use that. One per room type. That's not a bad way to do it. But that would just add so many options, you know? That's what I'm afraid of. Because if we add that many options, we're basically just going to be able to tailor, like, a perfect team right off the bat. And I just feel like that's a little disingenuous. But on the same hand, if we just leave it at just one Pokemon for the whole Grand Underground and still tailor it, that also doesn't really work. I'm gonna be honest, I have thought about it a little bit, but I haven't really come up with a proper answer for how we're going to do the Grand Underground yet. So, yeah, the big answer is I'm not entirely sure yet. Okay. So that can go here. Feel like the banned Pokemon acts as a counterbalance. That's actually a good point. But we would still be dealing with a pretty big list. What I might do is use the wheel spinner, use the random wheel, to determine which room we get to pick a Pokemon from, and then we can pick whatever Pokemon we want, but it will specifically have to be from that room that we end up selecting. So that is one possibility that I had considered. Here we go. And that way we could still include, like, an element of randomness to it. And there would still be the possibility, based on what room we do get, to end up being completely screwed. And I think, I strongly feel that the opportunity to get completely screwed is sort of a fundamental aspect of a Nuzlocke out. So I kind of like the idea of randomly determining which room we can do. Also, holy crap, you can get max ethers from rock smashing? That's insane. Just like this. Avalanche! That could be life-saving for this run. That genuinely might be one of the most important TMs of the whole run. Okay. We super repelled. Up, over. Okay. Do I have higher attack or special attack? That is a good question, Amy. You have a higher special attack. I feel like if you want that one Pokemon per section, each section is the places you can't get to unless you use the kit in a certain location. Okay, iron, that's okay. I just feel like if we make a rule that we are able to get more than one Pokemon in the Grand Underground, that it's basically going to turn less into, like, it'll be less of a Nuzlocke and more of a just, here is a giant list of Pokemon we could potentially get. What's the best we can do with this list? Okay, so Blackthorn. We have access to Blackthorn. That is genuinely one of the most important things in the entire game. One encounter for badge, that's still 8 Pokemon from the Grand Underground. The problem with the Grand Underground is that in the Grand Underground, the Pokemon are not random. You see them. So, because you're seeing them, you can curate what you get. Meaning that we can't have a random encounter in the Grand Underground. Wait. Hello, Necronomian. Alright, wait. Or Necrominion. What if we did it this way? What? The Diamond Sinnoh Dex is bad. Yes. Part of the entire point of these challenges is to work around the limitations that you have. Not find every way possible to avoid the limitations. Unknown, damn it, the Unknown unfortunately died last stream. I'm sorry to tell you. What if we did it like this? We stick with the idea of 1 Pokemon per biome, per room type. But we do not decide which one. We load all the encounters that room can have onto the wheel, and then we let the wheel decide. And then if the wheel happens to land on one we're locked out of, then tough shit, we don't get anything. That way we still get to have multiple underground encounters, but we are ultimately still at the mercy of random luck. I think that might be a fair compromise. Also, we are going to need some Ultra Balls. We are also going to need some of these. Money. Okay, let's sell a nugget. Okay. And grab a few super repels. If I'm given a Band-Aid fix to the bad Sinnoh Dex, I'm going to take the fire type because I shouldn't be blocked off from a certain type. My opinion on that is, if you're doing a challenge run, you're going to have limitations. If you're going to have limitations, you're going to have to deal with those limitations. That's just the way it is. So here's the important thing. This is the move deleter. Thank the merciful gods we have the move deleter. So we can now shuffle HM moves off of Pokemon. So, moving on. Route 45. Now, I specifically double-checked this, and we never got a Route 45 encounter. We specifically left it until we could access it from the north end. So, the encounters here are Graveler, Geodude, Gligar, and Phanpy. So, oh no, I'm sorry. In Soul Silver, it's Skarmory and Teddiursa. Wow, that's bullshit. Holy crap. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna let you guys see this one. There we go. Take a look at this. Take a look at the difference between the Pokemon Heart Gold and the Pokemon Soul Silver Route 45 encounters. Look at this. In Heart Gold, it is 40% Graveler, 30% Geodude, 20% Gligar, 10% Phanpy. In Soul Silver, 55% Graveler, 30% Geodude, 10% Teddiursa, and 5% Skarmory. It is half the chance of getting a Pokemon that is not a Geodude or Graveler in this version. Oh, that makes me sad. Okay. If you're doing a challenge run, you're going to have limitations. Yeah, but you can't excuse the bad Sinnoh decks by saying that. I'm not excusing the bad Sinnoh decks. I'm saying that if you are knowingly playing the game with the bad Sinnoh decks, then you are knowingly playing it under the knowledge that you are going to have to deal with the bad Sinnoh decks. It's not a surprise. Oh, it's Route 46 we didn't do, but still, Route 45. Don't play the bad Sinnoh decks game. But I don't mind it. I don't. It doesn't bother me. I don't care if I don't get a fire type. It genuinely doesn't matter. Alright, so Route 45 is a dead route. And the one we specifically skipped was Route 46. Okay, I had falsely believed that Route 46 and 45 were the same, but we just... Oh, that's why we never did 46, because all the Pokemon on Route 46 we were already locked out of. Oh, that's why. Okay. Then I can just mark Route 46 off of my list. Water-type defender behavior? No, it's just because I genuinely don't care. Like, my level of emotional investment in this is not high. I succeed or I fail, and either way, when I'm done, you know, I move on, and frankly, I'm not going to be thinking about it after that. It just doesn't really have a kind of impact on my life, so... No, I don't particularly care about, you know, what struggles I have in Sinnoh. Frankly, I don't think I'm really going to have many struggles in Sinnoh. Honestly, getting rid of Fortress is probably the right move. So the problem... we can go try for the Kimono girls here. We can always shiny hunt. There's a ground type in the room you need to address. And he has a hate boner to water types. Damn, that sounds like it, you know, requires an unreasonable amount of emotional investment. Doesn't really seem worth it to me. Alright, we've got all the Kimono girls. So we can actually make for Sprout, or for the bell tower at this point. Oh. Okay, never mind. We don't have them all. I only ever played Heart Gold. I don't actually know what goes on with Soul Silver at this point. Screw it. Let's just go work on the gym. The gym trainers gotta go through the joy that is Whirl Islands. I mean, I'm not too worried about that. I guess Boomball in front for the gym. I had said I hoped to get through the Elite Four today. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Why don't we push for the 8th gym badge? And then we can end the stream pushing for Lugia. Hello! 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 Oh wow, you're actually using a dragon. Good for you! I don't actually have much that is good against a dragon. And if you guys are running Dragon Rage, I'm kind of in a really bad position. There's the Seadra. That's more what I was prepared for. Jinx Ice-type. Jinx level 23. We're not the gym leader, so I can't throw my rare candies on it. Honestly, this might work. Ugh. Just need to be careful. Also, we have to change the team here. Since we did make a swap, we took out... Who did we... right. Slot 5 needs to be Jinx. There we go. Guys, there's over 1,020 Pokemon in existence right now, and that's even before we get into the subject of, like, unique forms. I think we can all just agree that trying to argue over any kind of what's better than other in any objective or subjective way is an act of madness at this point. Ooh, damn, that was a good hit. Okay, so this is a problem. Trainers in this gym like to use Dragon Rage. And we are unfortunately at the point where Dragon Rage is actually a legitimate and serious threat. So there is going to be a lot of running back here. Can Jinx learn Avalanche? Annie can learn Avalanche. Yeah, it's better off on Jinx. Give her Ice Beam. I do not have a TM for Ice Beam. I cannot give what I do not have. That's about as helpful as saying make sure you give Dazzling Gleam to your Clefable. We have to work within what we've got. I always really liked the design here. Okay, Seadra. You're the only Pokemon we kill with Petal Dance. There we go. Good job, Isotope. And next trainer. Okay, Dragonair, that's going to be another Dragon Rager. Okay, for some reason they are consistently starting with Agility. Alright, we beat that one. Jinx has 35 base defense and 65 attack, you idiot. And? There we go. And if you use that move, Jinx dies. Okay. So, which of our ice types do you think would be the better choice to take on the trainer? You know, who has a Gyarados, a Kingdra, and 2 Dragonairs. Because if you can suggest a better dragon or ice type or fairy type we have access to, I am more than happy to open with that one instead. Also, it is rare candy time. So we can take everybody up to level 41, which is going to help a lot. Let's start with Helena. Helena is about to get real damn strong. Fake Tears, no thanks. Wake Up Slap. Honestly, kind of like that. I'll take that over Mean Look. Helena is getting a lot of levels. Alright, so I've actually had my other monitor here on a different screen for a bit. I'm going to bet that when I flip over, I will see that Annie suggested putting Avalanche onto Nidoqueen instead. No, actually you didn't. No, you just said it had Powder Snow already. Yes, it had a base 40 Ice-type attack. I'm glad that you did not suggest putting it on Nidoqueen instead, because Kingdra has Hydro Pump. Yeah. Kind of a problem. To be honest, To be honest, Fortress... Fortress resists... Okay, there's no way to differentiate between her two Dragonairs. One has Aqua Tail and one has Fire Blast. Gyarados goes down to Charge Beam. That's not going to be much of a problem. Okay, Eepee. Honestly, Fortress is kind of too important to my overall future plans to really risk here. I'm basically just constantly going up against special attackers here as well. Okay, okay. Light Screen on Isotope. That might be a potential answer. The real problem is going to be this Kingdra. Its moves are extremely powerful, and I have nothing that is super effective against it. Claire is also going to have a Hyper Potion and a Full Restore. Flowey gets Wood Hammer. Yeah, we're gonna stop Wood Hammer. Okay. Let's think this through. Shadow Ball is a possibility. Shadow Claw is a possibility. All of her Pokemon are female. Flowey is male. I think my answer for Kingdra is Flowey. Yeah, Leech Seed, Stun Spore, Strength. Okay, so that's gonna be my answer for Kingdra, because it'll resist Hydro Pump. And one Hyper Beam or Dragon Pulse won't kill. If in the worst case scenario, we can whittle it down with Leech Seed. We can also attract it and paralyze it. Boom Ball can handle Gyarados. So then the problem becomes the Dragonairs. So both Dragonairs have Thunder Wave, Slam, and Dragon Pulse. One has Aqua Tail and one has Fire Blast. Okay. I think it is likely that Boom Ball knocks her out and Claire switches to the one with Aqua Tail. Since Fire Blast will not have any specific advantage. So if she switches to the one with Aqua Tail, unfortunately, it's absolutely dangerous. But if we can get a pivot into Helena, I think we'll be okay. Okay. Alright, I need to stop here and I need to think who I am willing to sacrifice. Because this is genuinely a fight where it is very possible that I will have to sacrifice a Pokemon. Isotope is expendable. Isotope is the starter, but they are the least important out of the entire group. Annie is non-expendable. If we lose Annie, the run might genuinely be over due to lack of HM coverage. Flowey is expendable. And last but not least, Eepee is also expendable. Okay, I think I've got the strategy. Wish me luck, because I am freaking nervous about this one. Here comes Claire, the quote-unquote world's best dragon-type master. Gyarados, I beg of you, die in one charge beam. Please die in one charge beam. It does not die in one charge beam. Okay, it Dragon Rages. I'm guaranteed another action. It will. It 100% will use a Hyper Potion or Full Restore. There's the Hyper Potion. Gyarados dies to this charge beam. Okay, she's down to one full restore. Okay, so here comes Dragonair 1. Dragonair definitely can kill me from here. I don't think it goes for Slam due to low accuracy. I don't think it goes for Thunder Wave because I'm electric. I think it goes for Dragon Pulse. Either Dragon Pulse or Aqua Tail. Either of which Helena should be able to survive. No, it actually did go for Thunder Wave. Okay. What's Avalanche? Alright, it did switch to the Aqua Tail one. There's Avalanche. Dragonair down in a single Avalanche. Exactly as I planned. Second Dragonair, this one runs Fire Blast. It's not going to use Thunder Wave. We might be in danger. We are not in danger. Okay. Very good. Slam. Okay. Is Thunderbolt a 10 or a 30%? I think Thunderbolt's only a 10% to paralyze, isn't it? I'm almost positive it's, yeah, 10%. Still banking on the 10% paralysis might be the better way to handle this. Yeah, I've heard Baz's Jr.'s voice. Dragon Pulse, no surprise there. Okay, now we know how bad a Dragon Pulse crit is, and a Dragon Pulse crit is completely survivable. So, Annie can't be 2-hit KO'd by anything it can throw at us. Honestly, in the original Gen 2, Dragon Breath was a lot scarier than Dragon Pulse, simply because of the paralysis chance. Okay. We are going to keep banking on the Thunderbolt. Dragon Pulse, unless it crits, we should survive this. We survive it easily. Okay. Good. This is a slow process, and it will trigger her to use her full restore, which is what I want to happen. I want that full restore out of the way before we go into Kingdra. I think this kills on crit. Okay. She doesn't go for full restore. Okay, good. I assume it goes for Hydro Pump here. So we pivot into Isotope for the Hydro Pump and drop a Light Screen. We should tank this and still be left with more than half health. Perfect setup. We drop Light Screen. It wastes its time with Smoke Screen. Perfect. And now we have a guaranteed survival pivot into Flowey. Perfect. So the first thing we are going to do is attract it. Yes, we shall sow Flowey, our Debtor Mason. Stay Debtor Masoned! Attract is up, now we stun Spore. I like Debtor Mason. It is now attracted and paralyzed. Kingdra is now in an absolutely crippled condition. A full restore won't do anything for the attract either. Now we drop a Leech Seed, and at that point, even in a worst case scenario, we just stall. But I do need to be more careful because Light Screen just wore off. We broke her kneecaps. What kneecaps? You can actually see it just right there at the bottom of the torso, where the tail starts to twist. Yeah, that wasn't actually a tail until we started this fight. Those were kneecaps. Alright, this thing is seated, attracted, and paralyzed. Claire has no hope of victory, not even with lucky crits. Not even if she smoke screens me down. Victory is guaranteed. There's the citrus berry triggered. Okay, it did go for a smoke screen. That is not a problem. This thing, death is guaranteed whether I attack it or not. Somehow beating this run-ender of a gym filled you with Deader Mason. Alright, if Claire's gonna full restore, this is where it's gonna happen. Yep, there's full restore. So we do need to reapply Stun Spore. Although we do have an accuracy reduction, so we're looking at, I believe the math works out to around a 60% chance. No, I saw what you put, Aubrey, and you definitely wrote Deader Mason. For all of my fellow streamers out there who have ever misspelled a word and gotten crap from it from chat, I hereby return the favor as I focus and call upon my inner Deader Mason to beat Claire. I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the smoothest Claire fight I've ever had. Yeah, you see that? When you don't have a light screen, Dragon Pulse is actually a legitimate threat. And that was not even a crit. Thank God I set up that light screen before I tried to set up the kneecap breaks. Also, I would like to point out that Jinx's Avalanche was crucial to the strategy. And there we go. That is Claire beaten. But I still don't get to update the 8th badge. Doo-doo-doo. Okay. So here comes why Annie absolutely could not be lost. Because Annie is the only Pokemon I have caught that is able to learn Whirlpool. I would literally be unable to progress if I had lost Annie. Well, short of, like, grinding for a shiny or something. Woo! I've literally one-shot Lance's Dragonites with Powder Snow. Yes, you have one-shot Lance's Dragonites with Powder Snow. because Lance's Dragon Knights are 4 times weak to ice. But a Dragonair is only 2 times weak to ice and cannot be reliably killed with a Powder Snow. Yeah, you know, to be fair, Claire kind of crashing out in this version, actually completely fair. We cheesed the shit out of her on that Kingdra. So I can actually understand her being reasonably pissed off about this one. Hello. Yeah. You want to fight? Oh, you have a Dragonair. Right. Hey, Helena, you want to handle this one? Never mind, Helena's dead. Well, it was a good run while it lasted, Helena. Yep, we lost the ice type. Easy come, easy go. There we go, just gray her out for a sec. Why did that Dragonair have Iron Tail? Because Iron Tail is super effective against ice types. Cool. This Dragonair might genuinely be more dangerous than anything else we fought today. There we go. Okay, we got it. Now, under no circumstances can we allow an encounter here. We have to get the Dratini. Because if we don't have Waterfall, run's over. Why is this Dragonair better than Claire? I feel like a lot of people are better than Claire. They just stopped giving a shit because she was such a pain in the ass. Then use a Repel. I used it before I walked in. Okay. What are Pokemon to you? Pokemon are my friends. Yep, we lost Jinx. Unfortunately, we encountered a level 37 Dragonair a trainer had that knew Iron Tail, and it killed Jinx. Alright, Pokemons are my friends. What helps me win battles? Training wins my battles. What kind of trainer do you wish to battle? I've never been entirely clear what the... What even are the right answers to this? Come on, Silver. Dratini answers. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. We are not going to get the Dratini with extreme speed. Damn. Love helps me win. Both. Cool. Yeah. You give me the thing. It's fine. Going without extreme speed is fine. Alright, let's go. We have the Rising Badge. Badge 8. There we go. Okay. Lugia. Yeah. Lugia. Cool. Cool. So, when does he give us... Are those badge PNGs from the anime? I have no idea. Do-do-do. Okay. I believe you have to go catch beat Lugia before you can get them. Alright, you have to have room in your party, seems to be the consensus answer. First off, reapply the repel. Alright, let's go. Maybe Jinx dying is a good thing. It's not. It's really, really... Oh, okay. Or she just has to give you the TM first. Okay. Yeah, it might just be after the TM. There we go. Never mind. It is after the TM, but I also have to have an empty slot. So, this Dratini, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to rare candy it until we get to the first member of the Elite Four. But we do have to take it with us for Waterfall. So, it's basically just going to be dead weight for a bit. Although, no, I'm not going to use an excuse to rare candy up all my Pokemon just to fight Lugia. Alright, but we've got something that needs to be done first. We take our party Pokemon, specifically Helena. Helena, you successfully killed one Dragonair. Alright, Helena is gone. We can get rid of that slot. And now we can go get Dratini. Annie, I believe this is your name. I believe it is your name. Your turn, Annie, to name a Pokemon. So, what would you like the name of this Dratini to be? And then, Aubrey, you'll be next. And based on the plan, that means you might get to name Lugia. Assuming I can catch it. There's also the very real possibility that the entire run ends at Lugia. Okay. So, Annie, what is the name of our Dratini? Whew. And while I wait to hear from you, I will finally check the messages that have been piling up on my damn phone. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Caught up on the family chat. Let work know my availability for tomorrow. Asgore! Of course. Okay. Asgore, Dratini. Grab the GIF. And update slot 5 to a Dratini. Alright. Ugh. So the all-important thing is Asgore needs Waterfall. We did get Extreme Speed! We got Extreme Speed! We got the Extreme Speed Asgore. Oh boy, and look at that nature. Oh, glorious day. We have an Adamant Nature Extreme Speed Dratini. Adamant Extreme Speed Asgore. That is about as good as it can be. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at the IVs. I can't. That's not a thing you can do. It's impetuous and it's silly. To see the IVs, we would have to load it into the hex editor. I'm not going to do that. The only reason I looked for hidden power was because it was genuinely important to know, like, where to put that and what our options were. Also, here is going to be our encounter for Blackthorn. It is a Magikarp, so Blackthorn is dead. I can try to calculate it. It truly doesn't matter. Like, it will make no difference to how I play the character. I am not going to use the Pokemon differently based on its IV values, so I have no need to know them. With Hidden Power, it was something that would genuinely make a legitimate difference to how I would utilize it. That is simply not the case with this one, so we're just going to be blind to it, and just like any other good trainer would be. Okay, that is Blackthorn City. Cut that off the route. So I think that we now have access to routes 47, which we weren't able to reach due to encounters being up on a waterfall. So let's look at our Route 47 list. Because the Route 47 possibilities are really, really damn good. The best options come during the day, where it's 41% Ditto, 20% Farfetch'd, and 20% Miltank. Alright, so we're going to head to Route 47 before we do Whirl Islands. We're going to leave Flowey in front. Alright, let's do this. Aubrey names the next Mon. Which I did say might Yeah, I did tell Aubrey that they would have the chance for Lugia because I forgot about Route 47. So Aubrey still gets Lugia, since I locked that in with them. So if we get the Lugia at Whirl Islands, we'll name it Susie. If we don't get the thing, it's going to screw us. So I guess that circles back around to Cole. Cole, you'll get to name the Route 47 Pokemon. If you don't ban the Master Ball, then we have Lugia. Oh. Wait, did I even get a Master Ball yet? Where do you get your first Master Ball in Soul Silver? I don't actually know off the top of my head. Okay, we can get it from Elm. Okay, so we can get guaranteed Lugia. I have not banned the Master Ball. So all I have to do is not screw up. And we are guaranteed Lugia. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better, because I was genuinely really nervous about the Lugia battle. Yep, alright, let's go. First things first. Nope, not escape rope, super repel. Alright, let's go. All you gotta do is repel through. Yes, but I am also prone to silly mistakes, since I am an aging old man. Also, it looks like our Pokemon for this route is going to be a Ditto. So, Cole, you will get to name a Ditto, assuming that I can capture it. Stun Spore, Strength. That's good enough. Okay, we caught a Ditto. Ugh. Kopitar? Is that the name you're going with, Cole? Kopitar? Okay. Is this another Bee Warriors thing? Okay, there is Kopitar. Let me just make a note of it on my list. Route 47, Ditto. And make sure that I highlight both the Ditto and the Dratini for future list updating. Okay, let's go. You know what? Let's end today's episode by getting ourselves a Lugia. While I'm doing this, can anyone actually look up the, a map of the Whirl Islands? It has been way too long since I've been in the Whirl Islands, and I have no idea where I'll be going. Whirl Islands, Soul Silver map. Okay, game maps. Okay, so that's Lugia. So to get Lugia, we need to get down from ladders G or H. Island B. I think we literally just go into Island B and then it's done. Based on what I'm seeing. Whee! Professor! Master Ball! Thank you. No, I'm not going to go deal with the Kimono Girls, because I am afraid of the Kimono Girls. You see, as a streamer, as a content creator, the mere concept of women is truly terrifying to me. Like, just absolutely horrifying. I truly don't know how I could ever think clearly in a world where women exist. That is a joke, by the way. I already have silver feathers, so I should already have access to Lugia. God damn it. Get out of my way! I'm on my way to get a frickin' Lugia. It was in Pokemon the Movie 2000, which had a song that was referenced by Herman Cain during his political campaign. The mere concept of a woman is truly terrifying to me, spoken like a true gamer. See, exactly. That's what I was trying to lead into. Pokemon the Movie 2000. Also one of the first times where they made it slightly less subtle that Misty likes Ash. A fact which every 10-year-old was able to deduce long before then. You know, I do have to say, though, now that I'm a lot older than I was back then, I really don't think a girl Misty's age should be running around in public wearing what she was wearing. Like, I don't really think it's an appropriate outfit. And going even beyond the issue of, like, you know, how much skin it shows, I just don't think it's good, like, traveling attire in general. Like, I mean, these kids are basically just living out there, roughing it. Like, no, girl, you need to cover more skin. This isn't even about modesty. This is about the fact that if you fall, you know, on these rough back roads you're always traveling, you're going to get hurt. Like, you really need to do that. Hello, Mystic Moth. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so as far as I know, we just have to go up here. Okay. And then from this location, from B, it's literally just a straight shot. Okay. We have a straight path to Lugia. Here we go. We found a max revive. Yes, I have a silver feather. Thank you. Repel wore off. Use the repel. Do not fuck this up, Quill. Don't hurt the lesbian dragon. Okay, so its name is Susie. Okay, I guess I do have to go face the kimono girls first. God damn it. I just said I was terrified of women. Like, you can't keep getting away with this. You can't force me to interact with people. I'm an introvert and a gamer. And I'm like 37 or something. You can't put that kind of pressure on someone. I'm definitely going to want another escape rope. The entire Ekrutik, like, Kimono Girls storyline really just naturally works better if they take you to Ho-Oh. Like, Lugia just feels... Yeah, see? Poor old Quinky there, he can't deal with being beaten by women. What a loser. Yep, you're older than me by a month. You have almost the same birthday as my wife. My wife turned 37 years old 2 days ago. She and I get to be the same age for just shy of 3 weeks every year. Jesus! Okay, Flowey's dead. Okay, Dark Pulse crit. Alright, this immediately got serious. That is a real goddamn problem. Well. Okay, so much for my best staller. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Yeah. Just kill the fucking thing. Come on. Yeah, just headbutt. Alright, it's also running Last Resort. Really pissed off to lose Flowey like that. Well, unfortunately, we are now locked into a series of battles. And at this point, my number 2 Pokemon is the squishiest one on my team, meaning that I basically have to do a risky pivot every single battle for the next 4 battles. Do you realize how bad this is now? This is the nightmare scenario. Okay. Fuck. Okay, Espeon and Umbreon are the scary ones. Okay, Light Screen. Don't crit. Thank you. Oh, fuck. Losing Flowey to the first attack is an absolute tragedy. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if we get through this. It lowered my Spec Def. I can't tank it like that. We're gonna have to go with Eepee. And we're not able to heal in between these. Guys and girls, there is a genuine chance that the run ends here. Okay. The scary ones are down. The remaining 3 are not nearly as scary. Fuck. I did not remember that it locks you into the whole fight. We're gonna go Charge Beam. I don't think Flareon can kill in one hit. Flareon sucks. Okay. Will-O-Wisp. Annie. Fuck! God damn it. Okay, never mind. It's scary as hell because the fucking thing is running Fire Blast. It's running 100% accuracy Fire Blast, like all good NPCs do. You're right. A crit blast kills. I still don't have a choice but to tank this. I'm basically trying to PP drain all the Fire Blasts. Okay, that should have been the last Fire Blast. Okay. Okay. At this point, we can stabilize the battle. The first thing we do is get rid of Annie's burn. Okay. Okay, they're all running Last Resort builds. Shit. I think Annie dies to 2 Last Resorts. No, okay, okay. We're able to tank a Last Resort. Alright, let's think here. Boom Ball does good against Vaporeon. But I can't have it burned and taking damage. Okay. It's wasting Will-O-Wisp. Okay. I think we have to go for the kill. Okay. Are you Jolteon or are you Vaporeon? Okay, you are Jolteon. Okay. Whatever Jolteon's going to run, Annie's going to be survival. It runs fucking Double Team. Of course it does. Of course it runs fucking Double Team. Okay, in that case, we have to switch Isotope and rely on Magical Leaf. Yeah, great job raising your evasiveness. It don't mean shit. Magic Leaf. Magic Leaf. Magic Leaf. Magic Leaf. Okay. Now we run Vaporeon. And this is like the one that I actually have an answer for. Charge Beam. Okay, we got the boost. Unfortunately, Surf might kill you. Do I try to stall? They all have a status effect move, last resort, in elemental. No, it's too risky. I really don't want to lose him. So we're gonna go with Isotope. Aurora Beam! Oh, God damn you! Okay. Okay. Don't crit. Paralyzed. This is my last Hyper Potion. I don't have a chance. It's do or die. I have to Petal Dance. No. Isotope dies on the next hit. Okay. We are going to get... I don't know what I can do here. I really don't know what I can do here. I think Boom Ball Self-Destruct might legitimately be the only way I can kill this thing. But I can't pivot safely into it. Meaning that I would have to lose Isotope and Boom Ball here. That's literally all I've got. All right. We have now lost our starter. And we are about to sacrifice Boom Ball. If this does not kill Vaporeon, it is very likely that this Nuzlocke is about to fail. Self-destruct halves defense. You've said that before, and you have failed to clarify it each time. I still literally don't know if you mean it halves their defense or mine. Nor why you would feel in either case that it warrants... that it's necessary to scream loudly about it. Fuck! That was goddamn bullshit. My memory told me that, one, you didn't start with Umbreon, and two, that you were actually able to stop and heal in between the battles. Both of those memories were incorrect. And as a result, we have now lost Flowey the Executor, Boom Ball the Electrode, and Isotope the Meganium. And so, there they go. Isotope, gone. Boom Ball, gone. Executor, gone. Fortress and Beedrill back on the team. So switch that to Fortress. Remove the color filter. I'm not going to bother taking Kopitar because we're just going to go grab Lugia. And we're not going to be fighting anything else along the way, so it really doesn't make any difference. That was bullshit. That was absolute bullshit. But the important thing is that we did not lose our HM users. Now, let's end this stream in triumph after our tragedy by going to get our one true savior, Susie the Lugia. Fucking kimono girls, I swear to God. Come on, cross the water. Yes. Yeah, Annie, I'm pretty sure you're just gonna miss the end of the stream then. Because this is gonna be pretty quick. Okay, reapply the repel. Okay. All right. The time has come. Oh, fuck all of you. Go screw yourselves, kimono girls. I'm pushing all of you into the water when this is over. Hello, Lugia. Or should I say, Susie. Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. Shut up and leave. You all suck. I lost 3 of my goddamn Pokemon to you. Quill, I uploaded a new viddle. Yes. I always have my videos scheduled to come out at noon. And there we go. We have captured Lugia, which means we can add it to the list. Just got to grab its sprite now. Lugia. And that'll be down in slot 4. Disable the filter. Change the image. Make it visible. And shrink it. There we go. And so Susie joins the team. Let me make a quick note here. Whirl Islands. Yes, there was a capture. And it was Lugia. Okay. Alright. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I hope you all rot down there. There. You know what? I think I've handled the events of the last half hour with all of the dignity and professionalism. You know, that I was able to bring, you know, the true elegance of a well-adjusted adult. And I hope that Ekrutique catches on fire again and they all die horribly. Which is probably a perfectly reasonable thing to say. Anywho, that is going to be it for today's stream. Be here next week when we are going to be taking our team to the Elite Four, suffering through, honestly, some really, really hard battles, and hopefully not failing. I will clarify this up front here. I'll clarify this for now. If I beat the Elite Four without wiping, I will consider this Nuzlocke to have been a success. If we wipe at some point after that, I will still move on to Alpha Sapphire. But I am going to be making the push up through all of Kanto and into Red. But at that point, after we beat the Elite Four, we will no longer be resetting this particular generation if we lose. To be honest, doing the Kanto gyms, a lot of their difficulty comes from just how much the levels escalate. And since we're running with rare candies, we basically completely negate any level advantage that they would have. So I do have high hopes that the Kanto side of things will not be as bad. But the Elite Four could still be pretty rough, especially considering that we have now lost the Pokemon that I was kind of hoping to use as my answer to Lance's 3 Dragonites. Because I really do not have an answer planned for them right now. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. It will be the usual RPG Maker stream. The current daily series on the channel is Hollow Knight Silk Song. That's probably going to be lasting for a while. I finally got a look at the complete game map for Silk Song and realized, yeah, I'm going to need to be making more than half-hour, 40-minute videos on that one if I want to get through this, you know, before the end of the year. So you can expect hour-long or longer videos of that coming. I think that's all the things I have to say. Good point. Good point about Lugia being Blizzard or Ice Beam. All in all, this was a pretty good day. There was a lot of drama. There were tears. There were laughs. There were infuriating failures. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for being here. As always, I really appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Wah, 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 wah.